We should go out.
It's so funny. People always congratulate you when you've been together for like a really long time, but that doesn't mean that you've been like happily together.
Setup over there looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're good to go. All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Nigel Chambers. I'm from Big Gold Belt Media. Well, I'm sure more than myself, you all are super excited for the release of your new film, You, Me, and Her, coming to theaters this Valentine's Day, February 14th. Congratulations. How's everyone feeling today?
Great.
Thank
Great.
you
So much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I gotta get more hype than that. Like,
Oh, we're
Hey, you know it, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Valentine's Day.
You meet me Valentine's Day weekend. Let's go.
Hey, this is
My heart.
there's a lot of options this Valentine's Day, but I gotta tell you, I think this is the one to go see, man. Unless you like you want to go in there and go see a slasher for whatever reason with your partner. But this one was truly special. And I know it's been a long road. I actually was aware of this film and made it release back in 2023. I'm based on the East Coast. So I didn't get a chance to hit any of the festivals that it did premiere on. So it's definitely been on my radar for some time. And then Ritesh, you just recently talked about having your moment of a dream fulfilled of seeing a movie that you're in Times Square. Big fucking deal,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You know,
And for you, oh, go ahead, brother. Go
I'm
ahead.
from New York. I'm originally from New York. I was born in White Plains, grew up in Westchester, went to NYU. So, the city is near and dear to me. So just to see that and, family of immigrants,
Yeah.
it's kind of full circle
You
moment.
made it.
Yeah,
You
baby.
made it, my brother. You made
Let's
it.
go.
And then for you two as filmmakers, I mean, y'all know better than anybody else. You just never know if you're going to get to this point. It's just not a given. And then you have a good engine behind you all with all the promotional work. You got the trailer, the key are all these little things that are you would assume is just a given that is not. So truly, I just want to ask you all, just getting to this point right now in the journey. The release is just a week away. What are those emotions? What are the excitement? What are your hopes that you want for the fans to take from out of going to see this one?
Well, for me, first I'll say this has just been like an absolute dream come true. I mean, we are going to 200 theaters nationwide. We're playing from Alaska to Guam to Miami to Puerto Rico. We partnered with this company called Attend that is going to basically disrupt the entire theatrical experience and bring more independent filmmakers to theaters. And we are the alpha test of that entire platform. And I also want to say, because I think it is really important and we're so proud of ourselves, this happened because we reached out. Dan sent a cold message on LinkedIn to the ex-CEO of the National Association of Theater Owners. And then what followed was 6 months of strategic, thoughtful follow-up until we had a lunch with them where we basically convinced them to do an alpha test that they were not going to do. They were actually just going to do a beta test for this platform, but we were so passionate, persistent, and genuinely believed so much in what we had created that I think they jumped on board. And
Selena convinced them in the room. And I mean, it's unreal because basically a movie like ours does not get a 200 screen release on Valentine's Day in today's day and age.
Yeah.
It either will go straight to streaming or maybe get New York and LA. And if we're lucky, 10 theaters. So
in January,
just to put into context,
the throwaway
in
month.
January on an off date for a weekend, and more people will want to watch it at home. So that's where we're at. So we are so pumped. So I'm glad you hyped us up at the beginning. Yes. That's the energy we got.
Right.
Let's go.
Right.
I just want to add, so not only has it been incredible, it's been an enormous amount of work, the most work I've ever done in my entire life. And sometimes I feel like I might actually be a superhuman because I can't believe how
we're distributing this film ourselves with the support.
The marketing ourselves. We're running the promotions ourselves. Every asset you have seen, we have created.
I edited the trailer. I designed or
Yes,
like
like
with
like
some support. But yeah,
it has been
yeah.
insane, but incredible, so incredible. And I have a 1-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son, so I just want to put that out there too, because
Man.
no joke.
So we don't sleep. We don't sleep.
What I will say is this. What I will say is this. I am so excited because the premieres that we have had and the screenings that we have had leading up to our release, people have loved the movie. And the biggest thing people are saying that I hope will be what really shakes things up is that people walk away from this movie having a new, honest conversation with their partner that they've never had before. And that it is
Mm,
beginning conversations that need to be had, and that people
mm.
are really grateful for it. And that just means the world, because that was our intention.
That's so beautiful. I don't even know why I had to follow up with anything there. Can we wrap it there? That's the interview. No, seriously. I just say as a film critic and just a fan of cinema, from having premieres at independent at film festivals and having an independent film and obviously, betting on yourselves with the disruption of the world with the pandemic and so many other different factors here. I mean, however you look at this, it's a huge win. But people are raving too. That's the other thing. So it's like a win-win in every way you look at this. So I'm very excited for you all. And yes, I just want to say, Dan and Selena, you two are psychos. Yeah, please get some sleep. Like, yeah, seriously,
The next
seriously.
marketing phase.
No, but just for proper credit here, folks. Selena is starring in this film, writer, producer, Dan, director. They've done multiple films together. Ritesh is also our lead in Ash. What a great combination between you, Selena, and Ritesh. You really, really are invited into the homes. You feel the drama. You feel the tension, the dissatisfaction. There's so much that you pick up on. Like little things, you just like, yeah, I know what that feeling's like, and you resonate with it. But like as you said, it is about. I think there's two things. I think there's definitely a aspect about self discovery and self journey, but also understanding your partner. But ultimately, this all comes down to communication. So it's a beautiful story, based sort of on a true story. So where's the comments, please?
So I'll tell you the true story. Okay, so Dan and I went on a trip to Vegas after we had our son, and it was one of the first trips we had taken without him. And we went to a club in Las Vegas, and this woman started hitting on me, and she was really beautiful, and I found myself very attracted to her, which was surprising to me because I'm in my mid-30s and I have a child, and it's not something that I had really thought about before. And she really wanted to kiss me. And I asked my husband, like, is that okay with you? He was right there. And he was like, oh my God, yeah. And I was like,
Right.
okay. So we like shared this very beautiful kiss. And then she was like, I would really love to see you later. Is it okay if I grab your phone number? And I was like, okay. So I like asked Dan, I was like, can I give her my phone number? And he was like, yeah. So I give her my phone number and we spend like the next 48 hours in Vegas just talking about like what's allowed, what's not allowed, what's on the table, what would make us feel safe. And we're like laughing and we're having so much fun and we're connecting and just thinking about what this could possibly look like. And she never texted me. But by the time we left Vegas, we were actually already outlining the script because we felt like it brought up
Wow.
so much within us about our own kind of not just fantasies, but a lot of stuff, a lot of conversations came up for us that we felt were really important and we started to want to put into this movie.
Okay, here's the issue. I thought there was this rule about what stays in Vegas, what happens in Vegas.
Not
But
anymore.
you can
That's
make
why we
it
said
into
it
a
in
movie.
Mexico. Said it in Mexico.
Dan, I'm curious, what was your conversations with Ritesh about this? Because in Proxy, Ash is channeling the story through your optics, but also like imagine all the conversations, the emotions, the thoughts that's going through your head. What was the conversation between you two?
Yeah, well, early on in the casting process, it was a lot of getting to know each other and having dinners and getting really comfortable and talking about relationships a lot and talking about our experiences. So we had more of a shorthand when we were on set. So we were talking about it and really comfortable throughout because we really did bring Tesh into our home,
Yeah.
which is crazy, weird. We're psychos, but it was really fun. I think Tesh was really great, and we got along so well. So I think. Oh, I'll stand by. Sorry. I think having like a vibe is so important, especially with an independent film, because you're up
Yes.
against so much making a
Yeah.
film that it really has to be a family vibe. So when we make films, we're actually inviting everyone into our home on the crew
Yep.
because it's really got to be that way. Because, when we make films, we're trying to have a human to human connection. We're trying to make films that actually like connect with people. So I think fostering that environment every step of the way is super important.
Yeah, to sort of piggyback on that, creating a safe space for our intimacy,
Mm.
both with the physical and the emotional, right?
Hmm.
We're giving the audience a window into our experience, and we have to bring that authenticity and sort of those specificities. Otherwise, they're not going to buy the back and forth, and so much of the said and the unsaid hopefully
Hmm.
translates right on screen, because that's what like if
Yeah.
you're in marriage or in a long-standing relationship, and I know when my fiance gives me that look, I'm like, shh. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like nothing needs to be said. So we had to get to that level. Both Selena and I, and even Dan. I'd look over at Dan, and Dan is looking at me, and I'm like, all right, we're going again. Like, you know what I mean? We built that rapport, and to that
Yeah.
point, we were invited into their home, and it felt very loving and caring and safe. So it allowed us to sort of grow and explore and play.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I love that. I love that. How much footage you still got from the behind the scenes with this?
Oh man, so much. I've been creating so much BTS videos. So I have a
Yeah,
Google
buddy.
Drive folder of all these clips, and they're just more and more coming out every day. And we're like filming at all our tour stops, doing everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead and drop that on some physical media for me, my guy. I'll be first in line for it, you know?
Oh,
Uh,
awesome. Yeah.
Bringing Sydney, this is just like the cherry on top with this already beautiful cast that you have. She brings such a infectious energy, and obviously with her and what her character brings. I mean, you just can't help to just be what you're attached. I gotta tell you too, man. You have these big bright eyes, and like when she first comes on scene, you're thinking what everybody else is thinking, like, oh,
No,
like.
it was funny because the first time I don't even know if I told Sydney this story. I was at lunch with Cameron, one of our other producers, and I didn't know, didn't personally know Sydney at the time, and she had walked by on the sidewalk, and I was like, "Who's that?" And Cameron was like, "Oh, that's Sydney. I know her." And then he went up and said hi, and I got introduced to her, and that's when I first met her. But
Yeah.
kind of, funny moment where you talk about that. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
cool."
And I appreciate that because obviously with the professionalism in there, like that's what we feel. We see her on screen and we're just like, well, we know there's going to be some interesting decisions and words being said here. She brings just that extra layer. I want to know for you all having her a part of the cast and what she's able to bring to it. I don't want to give anything away. But just how important was it to really nail that casting?
Well, first of all, I want to actually give a shout out to Cameron because Cameron was the one who introduced us to Sydney.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that casting decision was so key. And one of the things that we actually really struggled with before we had met Sydney was kind of exploring like, to what degree was this woman just going to be like pure sex appeal
Yes. Yeah.
versus like someone we could actually really connect and ground with. And I
Yeah.
think that Sydney is stunning, by the way, but she's actually so grounded
Yep.
and authentic, that it's not just about sex.
Yep.
And I think that that was really important for this whole thing to come together, that this dynamic and this attraction is more than sex. It's
Yes.
about feeling seen. It's about allowing yourself to be present and to be fun and to be, and she really brings that. Like she's such a wonderful person, and she just kind of gives you so much space to be playful.
Mm.
And so it was just so much fun to be able to get to do that together. And that was a really kind of important piece for us
Yeah.
when we were casting.
Yeah. Well said. Because I definitely couldn't put to words exactly that, but that's what it is. It wasn't just she comes in and is this full-blown sex appeal. Like just like a sense of like ambition, but like almost like humbleness. Like you just
Yes.
you know there's something good here. You're just scared about how you're going to navigate with that
Yes.
goodness. It's like when you go to Vegas and you get temptations of all these sorts of different things. You're just trying to kind of like, slowly but surely figure out exactly how hard you want to go into Vegas for the weekend. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
maybe I'll start a little slow, but I don't know. This is like a good
You definitely
opportunity.
brought an energy that I think was just so grounded,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that plays into the dynamic of the threesome and also making us feel safe,
yeah,
both as characters and as actors and as an audience member.
yeah,
You don't want to feel like, oh man, these characters are going into something that they're unsure about. And
yeah,
I think the energy that Sydney brought to Angela was that very sort of protective, like, hey, I got you guys. Like it's all
yeah,
good. We're
Yeah.
gonna
yeah.
so
I want to give you also an opportunity to talk about something else that really jumped out to me. I mean, that's the music. I really did enjoy the music throughout the entirety of the film. Talk about the decisions behind them, the folks you got involved with the collaboration effort with it. I mean, how did you sort of discover in terms of knowing how did you want to play certain songs? I mean, because like when we're talking about this type of energy, these things are crucial, you know.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
play this guy
Oh,
be right when you want to
we
set the
had
mood, you know.
so much fun with the music. I've worked with our team on music. On the last film, I worked with Jordan Young, who's our music supervisor, and Juan Carlos Enriquez, who's our composer. I've worked with on the last 5 or 6 projects.
Yeah.
So we have a long history of collaborating together. And Jordan just actually got nominated for a music supervision award because he does Love Island, and I know people love the music on that show. So
Yeah.
that really, we had so much fun bringing this Latin energy to the soundtrack. And then the score just supports that in different ways. It supports the drama and it also has the Latin elements. And then the coolest part was in the scene at the club where Sydney's character and Selena's character actually kiss for the
Yeah.
first time. That what happens first time, cliffhanger, maybe the only time, who knows? But but there we integrated the score of the movie, the
Yeah.
soundtrack, and diegetic music of a band playing. So we had a combination of these 3 different types of music going into that scene, and I think it really brought it to life and makes it stand out. So yeah, thanks for noticing because I love working with these guys, and the music is such a fun part of this process.
And also to add, so sorry, because Juan Carlos is actually Mexican as well. We grew up together in Guadalajara, which is really fun. But I love that you mentioned the music because actually someone recently was like, can you please put out a soundtrack?
You
Like so
know,
many people are talking about the music. And I really like, and we were at this after party for one of our premieres, and I was just like really like feeling it. And I was
yeah.
like, this music is so good. And
And
there
I have
goes
got on the playlist.
soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, in case y'all might know somebody, right? I mean, y'all are the bosses, right? I mean, you got this far on your own merit, so make the
Yeah,
call, figure it out. Y'all got this.
Yeah,
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 definitely
we'll
get
figure
the
it out.
we'll
soundtrack
figure
out
it out
there.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, they're giving me the signal, so I just want to quickly say and ask one quick thing. This was a really, really, really special film, and you all have shared so many special moments about this, even to the point, Dan, I saw you said that you and Selena, you even cry of joy to get to this point, which is very special. Anybody who knows and appreciates independent film making and just the film indie scene understands that like people go fully broke in terms of putting out this measure of entertainment for us, the consumers, to watch. And I just want to make sure that you 3 And everybody with your cast, definitely get your flowers for making it this far. This was definitely a success. I'm thankful for stories like this. I'm thankful for more entertainment like this. And I hope you all just enjoy this moment and then get back to work. Because don't have too much fun. I want to see all three of you all back on the screen soon. So last thing I just want to say, just please share any additional comment, sentiments, or feelings about getting to this point, whether it's with your cast, whether it's why you want the fans to get out there, just anything else to take these last few moments to share to the world.
Okay, well, I'm going to say one thing. Please, please, please come watch this movie in theaters. Please tell people about it. Please show up, because if you show up, you are not just helping our movie. And yes, I haven't slept in months. And if you're a mother, please have compassion for that part of me. But separate from that, if you come watch this movie, you are actually helping independent filmmakers all over the world, because what we are a part of is the beginning of changing the way independent films can actually be seen by an audience. And if this works, it changes everything. It gives everybody a voice to have a bigger theatrical, a bigger audience for more stories that need to be told, more diverse stories, LGBTQ stories, stories about honesty and authenticity and relationships. And I just think that they matter so much. They matter more than ever. 80 to 90% of every movie you see in theaters is owned by a studio. So let's change that. Let's shake that up. Let's help each other out. And I promise you'll also have an incredible time and walk out and have a really good, honest conversation.
I've learned not to talk after Selena. I'm gonna let that live.
And after doing a movie pretending to be Dan, I've also learned not to say anything after. But that was beautifully said, so nothing needs to be added to that.
No, nothing.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you you three so much. This was so much fun speaking and sharing these moments in this space with you all. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if we get more of a story of Max and Ash down the line, in case you want to, have more trips to Vegas or something, and
To go to Thailand maybe for their next.
But You, Me, and Her, it comes to theaters February 14th. Selena, Ritesh, Dan, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
amazing.
Anytime. Absolutely.
Ridiculous.